We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. What was supposed to be a wonderful evening of celebration for Wicked Manors Halloween is severely criticized in social media by some Wilton Drive businesses. Is it a yellow light on the dangers for business survival on the drive?
Log cabin Republicans ramp up door knocking in key swing states like Michigan and Pennsylvania, aiming to secure votes for Trump and Vance.
The cold open of SNL is just the latest of the humor of the 2024 election season. Queer News Tonight will show you the best laughs to going into Election Day.
Pollster Selena Lake discusses women's silent support for Kamala Harris, highlighting LGBTQ plus voters' cautious optimism in the Harris-Trump presidential battle.
Queer voter turnout may be crucial in tight states. With high Democratic leanings, LGBTQ plus support and the support of women could tilt the balance for Kamala Harris in 2024.
From November 17th to the 24th, the Miami Book Fair hosts over 500 authors, highlighting LGBTQ voices and multicultural stories in a vibrant downtown celebration.
Good evening, all, and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. It is Monday, November 4th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live queer evening news show. Whatever happens unique in the LGBTQ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We wanted to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the queer and broader community.
That's right, Dale. And let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome Will Haas.
Also, yeah.
You know that I'm a bear at heart, right?
Oh, yeah.
In this lesbian body, there is a bear.
You're a mama bear.
So he serves as the president of the Bears of South Florida, if you didn't already know. They are the winner of Out South Florida's best social group in South Florida. And Will is a seasoned bi-coastal real estate professional with experience in the Fort Lauderdale, Wilton, Manors, and Naples, Marco Island locations. Will, so the annual Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida and the Bears of South Florida's Teddy Bear Drive is coming up in November. Tell me what's happening.
So we're excited once again with the Gay Men's Chorus to have this Teddy Bear Drive. Last year we gave away over 1,000 teddy bears to the Broward's Children's Hospital. It's a fun event, and bears will bring bears, and the chorus sings along, and they bring our bears too, and it's a great event.
How wonderful is that? And bears giving bears away. I mean, like
bears for bears.
Bears for bears, extending that love and it coming and it getting to these adorable kids during a time like Christmas. That's so beautiful, William.
And the note we got from the hospital with the Gay Men's Chorus, which is phenomenal, how much they appreciate that we do this. So bring your bear. The day after Thanksgiving, the hunters will be there.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Edward, how does this wash over you that you guys get to work together in such a, what a wonderful event?
You know, it's such a wonderful partnership that we have with the Bears of South Florida and Hunters as well, because, you know, we use Hunters as a venue for this as well. So, you know, they host our sing-alongs so that we work together out as well. So, you know, it's been such a wonderful example of how, you know, community groups can kind of work together and raise good money.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. William, so you folks raised 1,000 bears last year. Are you going to try to break that record this year?
We barely can, but let's do it.
You get it?
Yeah.
You get it? Barely? Love that! Next up, let's welcome Edward Otto Zielke. From a successful career in financial marketing to his current role as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, Edward's journey is marked by many accolades and achievements. The Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida is one of the world's largest and most important LGBTQ plus cultural arts organizations. Edward, I went to your incredible gala on Saturday, and I can't tell you, I was blown away by the opulence, by the fun, by just so many wonderful people in the same room coming together for such an incredible, incredible cause. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so I see you here today, and I'm like, okay, he's probably not going to talk about anything else, right? The gala's over. What else does he have for us? But no, guess what? There's more. What's going on?
You know, there's so much going on with the organization. We're always kind of, looking ahead for things. And so we have auditions coming up for our spring concert. That's going to be in March. It's November 24th at 2 p.m. at Sunshine Cathedral. So all you have to do is just sign up on our website, gmcsf.org, and just fill out the registration online, and you'll get your appointment set up. We'll contact you, and, we welcome people that can sing in the lower register, and that's allowed, different humans to join us as well. Mm-hmm. We have a good section of lesbian women that are part of the organization that do sing with us, so we're excited about that, and we have a transgender individual as well. So it speaks to us in terms of not just a sexual identity, but also within the multicultural generations that we're attracting as well. We get Gen Z people, we get Gen X, obviously, all the way up. So it's a fantastic organization to be a part of.
Yes, and you can feel the love in that room. William was there, I was there.
Yes.
And you just felt the buzz and the love that people have for the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. Do you have to have a song prepared? Yes, right? Probably
you do.
could?
Yes. I mean, even if you're nervous about singing the song, you could definitely just come on in and just sing "Happy Birthday" if you'd like.
Okay. And what did you mean by lower registry? That's like people who can't sing like me?
Yeah. So, for instance, no, that's not
Like us.
the higher register is more up in here type of thing, but the lower register is down in here. So the male voice tends to be in that lower register. So some females, can sing in that tenor range that would be a little bit in the lower range for like an alto range for women. That's the musical terms that they call like the parts: soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. So women tend to kind of fluctuate into that tenor realm, so that allows them to match the pitches of the rest of the gentlemen.
Okay. One last question.
Yeah.
Okay. So for these auditions, will the person be ready to perform in your holiday concert coming up?
No, so this is actually going to be for the spring concert coming up. So we're already in mid rehearsals right now for the holiday concert, which is coming up in December. So it wouldn't be for that. So it would be starting in the beginning of the year.
It would be for 2025.
2025.
Okay, but what a great way to get involved, right? Use your talent, spread your talent,
And if you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, we do have another audition date coming up after the holidays, January 4th. So, come and see our concert. And if it's something you want to be a part of, definitely, go on our website and sign up.
I love that. Sign up today, okay? And last but definitely not least, my brother from another mother, he's Dale Stine. He's a celebrated photographer in the LGBTQ plus community. He's the director of music ministry at the world famous Unity on the Bay and moderator at Miami Gay List, one of South Florida's largest LGBTQ plus Facebook groups, which can also be found on IG at Queer List Official. Welcome back, Dale. What's going on, boo?
It's great to be here. I'm just excited to be here. Excited about this election season about to be over. So just that.
Just that little thing. Just that little thing going on.
So just think Quincy Jones.
Yes, R.I.P.
So it's an iconic, legendary musician and producer. Just he's left such a legacy. It's astounding.
Thank you for bringing that up, because he really did touch so many lives, right?
Yeah,
like Whoopi
amazing.
Goldberg this morning on The View was in tears, just talking about how impressionable she was when she first came on the scene and how he was such a big mentor for her,
Amazing. Yeah,
so wow, what a loss.
Yeah, so kudos to him. And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of the FayWhat show on Mondays. Faye, tell me what's happening. The annual lip sync battle benefiting Nat King Cole Generation Hope Inc. will be on November 14th at Hunter's Wilton Manor. It will be co-chaired by Joe Barilla, an NKCGH member, and our lead anchor right here, Faye. So tell me what's happening.
Yes, so an award-winning actress, an award-winning actor, an award-winning chef, an award-winning realtor, an award-winning filmmaker, an award-winning winning interior designer, and an award-winning lip-sync performer. Each one a success, each one giving back. Come have fun and see them perform on stage at Hunter's Wilton Manors on Thursday, November 14th, 5:30 to 8:30 to raise funds supporting music education for children in Broward schools. Tickets at natkincolegen.org. So on stage November 14th at Hunter's that we love is going to be 7 stars, 6 acts, and 1 night only. Get your tickets now and cast your vote for your favorite contestant at natkincolegenhope.org. And I'm going to be your co-chair for this event. Jimmy Cunningham is going to be in the house, Aaron Dalton, Dion Abshir, Jeffrey Roach, Chef Josie Smith-Malave, Andy Fishman, and a whole lot more are all ready to take the stage. Thank you to Joe Barilla and the Nat King Cole Generation Hope, Inc. for putting this on and making this possible. I will see you then. So we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Monday, November 4th, 2024. First this evening, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Wicked Manors shows the dangerous cliff that Wilton Manors businesses may be at. Wicked Manors may have brought to the surface what has been rumbling about for months. Some businesses in Wilton Manors have to face some financial difficulties. The Halloween event closes Wilton Drive for a street festival that attracts thousands every year. But social media has been ablaze with questions of excessive security and barricades that impede walking traffic, impacting business on the drive. Wilton Creamery and Bona Italian Restaurant are two businesses that commented on how Wicked Manors adversely affected their business operations. Wilton Creamery wrote on their social media, quote, "Due to the losses last night and the numbers I am short for next month's plus, we are discontinuing small batches for the unforeseeable future and canceling a few holiday limited batches. I cannot invest in slower moving items right now, even taking myself out of payroll for November. I can't make the numbers work. We are not closing. We are not asking for handouts. We are not starting a GoFundMe. We do not want you to buy gift cards that you will never use. We are just changing our normal operations for the rest of the year as we have a budget issue due to losing a significant amount from our normal Halloween sales," end quote. Local business and philanthropic leader Glenn Weinzimmer expressed his concerns on excessive security plans and how they affect businesses on Wilton Drive. Glenn said, quote, "Last night, Wilton Manors, the crowds were out and high-spirited. There was lots of security and even more barricades. Small businesses were definitely hurt on the drive and glad the charities made money. Security was over the top again. I love our officers and saw all our proud men and women in blue doing the job they were assigned to. So no digs on any of them. I see these barricades as more of a hindrance to security than anything," end quote. Other business owners also talked to Queer News Tonight on the condition of confidentiality and fear of backlash. Many comments were very pessimistic on the future of the drive. The issues seem to be growing on a complex mix of problems facing Wilton Manors' financial viability. For example, the cost of rent and the viability of small businesses to operate on the drive seems to be creating shockwaves among these business owners. Rent costs have skyrocketed, especially since COVID. J-Foy, Wilton Collective, was forced to relocate off the drive because of rising costs to operate. Some business entities that have tried to incorporate outside expansion of the building projects have been told no by building owners unless they signed a new higher lease. Some buildings have told prospective new businesses they could only have a short-term lease because they were looking for more lucrative renters. Restaurants, Tie Me Up and Bubbles and Pearls have both closed. Bravo's top chef, Josie, from Bubbles and Pearls, said very publicly that the environment on Wilton Drive was no longer viable to operate. Claudia Castillo Art Studio was forced to relocate because of significant rent increases. A prominent bar and food business owner on Wilton Drive told Queer News Tonight, quote, "Operating a business on Wilton Drive has almost got to the point of being financially impossible. Our gay community wants value, and business that tries to provide that value is stressed by landlords and suppliers that no longer are loyal to the gay community or our businesses. They want us to move to bring in higher rent," end quote. So the skirmish that appears from Wicked Manors seems to be just a symptom of a much greater issue that the LGBTQ plus community is facing in Wilton Manors. You know, this truly makes me sad all around, right? Wicked Manors is just an incredible time. It's fun for families. Thousands of people go out. But these businesses on the drive, they really count on those high surge days like Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival and Wicked Manors to generate that kind of money that maybe they have lost at other times. I've heard from many business owners that summer was not easy on the drive, that summer was very difficult for a lot of businesses. And it breaks my heart to hear of places like Tie Me Up and Bubbles and Pearls that have had to close. You know, I'm good friends with Claudia Castillo, and she's an incredible person and human, and she does so much for the drive. And she had to relocate her whole entire art gallery because according to what she told me, her rent was going to double, folks, not a couple hundred, not, you know, but double. Who can afford that? So Halloween, on Halloween, something horrible happened in Orlando. I know that we all heard about it, right? There were about 100,000 people out on the streets, and a gunman decided to shoot and kill 2 people and injure dozens more. Things like that happen, and because things like that happen is why we need such high security, why we need all these barricades and all that. But there's got to be some kind of common ground so everybody's happy on this. What do you boys think?
So maybe we get a meeting with the producers, the business owners on the drive, and make it better next year, because there's always room for improvement, and our community always works together. So that's how we solve problems, by working together in unity.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a larger issue, in terms of number one, we've come out of a pandemic 4 years ago. And for myself personally, I bought my home in 2020 and I bought it at a very reasonable rate. And within the last 4 years within my condo association, it has more than doubled. Expenses have more than doubled in the last 4 years, and I've been conscious of this. So, and I know for my organization, when we go into venues, a couple of years ago, the rents, prices are not what they are now. They're doubled as well. So there's a big ripple effect in all of this. But there's also, what in the quote too, where they're saying that the landlords and suppliers no longer are loyal to the gay community. That's a separate issue. So if you're price gouging because it's LGBTQ plus business, then that's wrong.
And there's another component in there too, which, with referencing with Bubbles and Pearls and Tie Me Up closing, this happens all over the country. Gay people move in, clean it up, make it cute, and then it's no longer ours. Because that's what happened to Chelsea. All over the place.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's another. The point is that there are so many components to this story.
Yeah.
And where do you find the balance? Where do you try to make everyone as happy as possible? Because you're not going to make everyone 100% happy. You're not going to be able to offer every person everything they want or desire. There has to be compromise.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but you're never going to make everybody happy, like you said. And as a business owner, like what you just hit on, you're getting hit on all sides. Your landlord's messing with you, and also you have to count on the patrons coming in, and it's a lot to deal with.
Imagine if we get tariffs. Sorry, take it to just to make it about that thing. So sorry to interrupt, but
no, of course. I mean, I think it's a lot, and I would hate. Security is imperative. Security is needed, and at the highest caliber, and that is what we do in Wilton Manors. We make sure that our people are safe, that our people are secure, that you're going to have a family-friendly time without any kind of danger. So. Where does that, I'm with William. I think everybody needs to go back to square one, sit down and outline where, so everybody's happy to some degree. Barricades are important, right?
And who's in charge, for example, who's in charge of where the barricades go? Is that the PD, or is it in part the committee that does the parade, the festivities?
Yeah. Is it the city? Who is it?
I'm sure it's a combination of all those things, but maybe those things need to be addressed,
or ironed out. As from every experience, even coming out of a gala myself, as well as things went, there are things that you have to look at from another perspective, so that it becomes better next time. So, these type of, incidences, hopefully, in the planning stages for next year, that they'll take those into consideration.
Yeah.
But I do feel for the businesses too. It's a tough thing,
Listen, I love Wilton Creamery. Their doggy food, their doggy ice cream is the best, okay? And I would hate to lose them. You understand? Like, when is enough's enough? Sometimes people are just like, okay, I can't. I'm just going to move Wilton Manors adjacent because I can't afford to be on the drive anymore. You know, and that's a loss to our community. It's loss. You know, there's all these big ventures coming up right now in Wilton Manors, right? I would hate that that's really happening. You know, this is a business owner's experience, right? If he's saying that they're giving out short-term leases because they're waiting for the bigger pig, that's not right either.
It's Wynwood waiting to happen.
That's gouging. You know, and that's very unfair to these places, especially the people like Claudia or the people like Glenn that have been here for years supporting and supporting and supporting. So I think definitely something needs to be done. At the end of the day, this was a fundraiser, folks, right? So for the people that were upset about paying $13 to get in, get over yourself, okay? $13 is not even a drink in South Beach, okay? $13, I can't even park my car anywhere in Miami for $13, okay? And you've got all these festivities, all these beautiful platforms, these people, these incredible DJs. I mean, there was so much going on for Wicked Manors, and it was open to everybody, and people had a great time. It rained, and people were still out there having a blast, you know? We would be upset if we didn't have a Wicked Manors. And then there'd be a whole outcry about that. You know, support what we have. There are people in other states that wish they had a Wicked Manors that was so family friendly and so LGBTQ plus inclusive. So just be careful who you target, you know? You just never know. What's next, Edward?
All right, next, let's queer up politics. Log cabin Republicans just knocked on 15,000 doors for Trump. As the November 5th presidential election approaches, log cabin Republicans intensified their efforts to support Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. The Republican LGBTQ plus organization emphasized the urgency of mobilizing votes, stating, quote, "We cannot leave any votes or opportunities unrealized," end quote. Log cabin Republicans recently reported on a significant ground activity claiming to have knocked on over 15,000 doors in key battleground states. Their field staff and chapters were engaged in a campaign called Swamp the Vote, aiming to amplify their presence in critical swing states where LGBTQ plus votes are in significant numbers. Log cabin Republicans particularly focused on engaging voters in 3 key Rust Belt states, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. They collaborated with a digital team at 10X Votes to identify low propensity voters within supporters' networks. We will know shortly if the LGBTQ plus log cabin Republicans' efforts to support Trump pay off. Well, that's wonderful that the log cabin Republicans took a lead from how Democrats, get out the vote and get on the street and, knock on doors. That's wonderful. That's something we've done
forever
and forever. So, I'm glad to see that they're getting their...
They're being so polite.
That they're getting their steps in, right? They're getting their steps in.
Yeah.
That's it.
Congrats.
You know what rings most true to me about this story is the swamp. I mean, that's swamp. That's about right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we're talking about the log cabin Republicans. So, I mean, I doubt that it was really 15,000 doors. They probably went on 15 doors, and they're saying 15,000, but they're that.
I'm sure they were driven there.
Listen, everybody's pulling out all the stops, okay? Yesterday was a huge day, it being the last day of early voting here in Florida. I saw all the caravans everywhere, and I know that you boys also did. It was the last push to get everybody out there. They're scared. They know they need all their votes, and
both sides are scared.
Both sides are scared, and for obvious reasons. But I mean, log cabin Republicans. What can we say about you?
It's really just
not a lot.
Baffling. I mean, I don't know that they deserve much more airtime.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
Next, let's queer up politics. The best jokes of the election season 2024 to ensure we eliminate the Dra-ma-la and keep carrying on Mala. It's been a long and dreary election season. The LGBTQ plus community is often on the cutting edge of the humor that can be found even in the darkest of times. So Queer News Tonight thought we would show you the best jokes made, perhaps none greater than SNL and Kamala Harris' secret guest appearance with Maya Rudolph and their mirror-in-mirror pep talk with herself. So, Kamala, Everyone from the LGBTQ plus community wants to give you that pep talk. Now, Kamala, take my Pamela.
The American people want to stop the chaos and end the Dra-ma-la.
With a kunu, stop mama.
So put on our jamalas and watch a rom-comala.
Like Legally Blondala.
And start decorating for Christmas. Fa-ma-ma-la-la-la-la.
And what do we always say? Keep Kamala and carry on-a-la. Here are some of the other funniest moments of campaign 2024, just for laughs.
I just want to say thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you for putting country first and for handing over the reins.
I didn't want to. They made me. And guess what? And by the way,
I am officially retiring all of my Joe Biden is old jokes. Okay? They're starting to get tired anyway. Just like Joe Biden. That was the last one. I swear. Now I'm going to unretire them to use on Donald Trump. Who?
I do feel bad for all the undecided voters watching this debate because how embarrassing for you. When it's lunchtime, are you like, I could eat a sandwich or I could just chew on some broken glass? I'm undecided. Let's hear both sides.
Vice President Kamala Harris traveled to North Carolina to survey damage from the hurricane, which is the second time this year she swooped in after a huge disaster.
She's up 4 points in Pennsylvania, which is a key swing state that could decide the election. But there's bad news, too, because the Washington Post says she and Trump are tied in Pennsylvania. Though another poll from Franklin and Marshall College came out today has Kamala up by 3 in Pennsylvania, whereas Emerson has her down by a point in Pennsylvania. In other words, none of these polls mean anything at all. They are meaningless, and yet we keep looking at them. They're like the Kardashians in a lot of ways.
Check out the footage we got of CBS reporters fact-checking Vice President Harris. Look at this. See that? It's interesting, right? Now take a look at this footage of them fact-checking former President Trump. Look at wow. Totally different story.
Wow. Would you have certified the results?
You know, Nora, it's rich to say that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy when he peacefully gave over power. We said no fact-checking. And willingly, don't check that, got on his plane without incident, right after saving Obamacare, don't check that.
Well, if we're allowed to stand up here and lie, then I would like to say I actually was in Tiananmen Square.
The political world is still reeling from reports that Trump repeatedly praised Hitler and Hitler's generals. And I know when I say reeling, no one's actually reeling. They're mostly just shrugging because we live in a nightmare world where this has somehow become normal and everyone just goes about their day knowing that the most powerful person on earth could once again be a guy who thinks Hitler was cool because it's just another piece of content we all scroll past on our magic little distraction boxes between cooking trends and TikTok dances and dogs wearing sunglasses. But I mean, come on!
How is this real? Did we all die during COVID? And is this some strange, surreal purgatory?
Americans are changing their vacation plans due to election anxiety. Yep, people are waiting till after the election so they know whether to buy a round trip or a one-way.
Now, if you're stressed out, might I recommend a way to feel better? It's called voting. In fact, this is true. In fact, I voted this morning.
Wow, that was amazing.
No, but it was so awesome to see like all the clips back to back, right? Because if anything, Trump has given us a lot of material, Dale. You know
so
what I mean?
much content. The content is astounding.
I'm so glad I saw that because you know what? I needed that laugh. Because we are so anxious. At least for me, I am so anxious at this point. Sometimes I just need to laugh. And so thank you for all of that. That's just wonderful.
But so what did you boys think about, like I was too busy at your opulence gala, so I didn't see it live. I didn't see SNL live, but the second I got home, like it was all a buzz. Everybody was talking about it because I don't know how they kept that secret a secret because nobody knew. And all of a sudden there pops up, you know, Kamala with Maya Rudolph, and it was just so relatable, funny. I was laughing out loud of how she made me feel, and it made me like joyful. Like I want her to be president so bad, you know?
They're just, she's so approachable, you know, and that's the thing. You know, Donald Trump, I don't feel I could ever.
Next, let's queer up the USA View. Is LGBTQ plus cautiously optimistic, or is this the Hillary Wednesday morning hangover coming again? As the 2024 presidential race heats up, LGBTQ voters are left wondering if optimism for the more inclusive future is warranted or the memories of the past disappointments linger. Renowned Democratic pollster Celinda Lake shared her insight with The Advocate, analyzing the upcoming presidential face-off between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. When asked about compelling parallel, like in current electoral battle of the 1973 tennis match between Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King, Lake said, quote, "It's so true, it's men versus women," unquote. For some, this election reminds them of the 2016 United States presidential election, where Hillary Clinton was standing against Donald Trump. Talking about the current scenario, Lake pointed out that Harris is trying to get more support for women to counterbalance Trump's male-dominant base. Recent polling reveals a promising shift among suburban women. Many who have previously leaned Republican but now are reevaluating their allegiance due to concerns over reproductive rights. However, she noted a concerning trend. Women are hesitant to voice their support for Harris, with some leaving post-it notes in restrooms as silent encouragement for one another. She said, quote, "There are silent women out there which are hard to capture in the polls," end quote. Lake also noted similarities between Harris's current campaign and the 2020 Biden's campaign she previously led. As the election approaches, the LGBTQ voters are left pondering whether this cautious optimism will translate into real change or in the past experience of disappointment will resurface. Everyone in the LGBTQ plus community remembers the morning of Wednesday in November 2016, the day after the election. Well, I'll tell you, post-it notes are encouraging, especially in the men's restroom in a gay bar. I always found them to be very useful. But seriously though, I mean, if that's what's going to cause a movement to happen, that, you know, you have support out there, and that's important.
You know, it's crazy that we're in 2024 and it's still men versus women, you know.
Exactly.
It's still, it saddens me, you know, to know that there are men out there that will never vote for a woman because they just feel that we are second class and we are beneath them, so to speak. You know, it's sad that here we are in 2024, even me saying those words coming out of my mouth, right? I have seen some of these post-it notes in the women bathrooms, and, you know, they give you hope, right? The post-it notes say something like, you know, you're by yourself when you're voting, right? Nobody needs to know who you're voting for, right? Vote, you know, vote like if other women's reproductive rights were, you know, were on the ballot, because they are, right? You know, the reality is that when you're putting that vote in, it's just you and your vote. Nobody has to know. You can live in a household that is Trump all the way, or you can live in a household that is full of misogyny and full of men that don't think that women can rule, right? They're wrong, but no one needs to know your vote, just you. You know, and women can totally make this happen and get Kamala in office.
And how much more, how it expresses the point even further that this even has to happen this way.
Yeah.
That women live in a place where they're subjugated to what men's orders are, that you have to vote like I vote. Like, it's really reprehensible that we have to do it. I mean, I think it's a great campaign, as it were.
Yeah.
But it's still very sad that even happening.
Mm-hmm. How about the hangover that William talked about? Does everybody remember that 2016?
Oh, yeah.
I remember going to bed, right, and really thinking we're all good. Tomorrow morning I wake up and there's a woman president. I love it. I loved her husband. I'm all about it, right? And then waking up to the horror that was my reality, our reality for the next 4 years.
I remember.
Look at your face, Edward.
I remember that night because I was at Rosie's Bar and Grill watching the elections happen, and as we started losing states to Trump, I got a really uneasy feeling, and I just left the bar and I just kind of walked home because I needed that moment. I felt like that there was something really change was happening. And so, I mean, it was kind of intense that first week. It was a lot of upset. And, I look at that campaign and, I know a lot of people didn't like her and she wasn't likable. And so I feel that, people had their misgivings about her and her husband during their presidency. So I think a lot of that played in on that. Yeah. And so I think
James Comey, emails,
exactly. So we can't forget about that. But more so now, I think Kamala's got a really decent record in terms of who she is and how she's prosecuted over the years, and I think she's cleaner. In terms of everything that she's done, I feel.
Right.
But like you said earlier, she's relatable. Everybody can relate to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she laughed. She's brought that joy and that laughter from the beginning. Hillary never. That's just not her style. I love Hillary. I adore her.
I love her, but I don't think
I was also at
I
was also at a watch party that night at one of a big Democratic donor, and I remember as the stage started coming in, I was like, I cannot be here. I went to a bar by myself and drank wine. Because I was
with a straw. That's how you know Dale is upset, when he drinks wine with a straw.
Yeah, but I don't want to relive that.
Yes.
But the Hillary hangover is a real thing.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things like we all remember where we were, right?
It's PTSD. It's like PTSD.
It is PTSD.
It's taught me not to rest on my laurels, and that I have to be more proactive.
And neither Kamala.
Earning every vote. Exactly. So I had to put my own, foot to the gear or whatever it's called, and just really step up and get more people involved and get are you voting? Are you doing or what are you doing? So
yeah.
Well, hopefully all those people that just waited to vote are now voting versus sitting there on the sofa just waiting for somebody else to vote.
Very true. Well, with that, let's queer up politics. LGBTQ plus voters could be the deciding factor in 2024 election. As the 2024 U.S. presidential election looms, polling suggests that queer voters could hold the key to victory, particularly in pivotal states like Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. With Donald Trump and Kamala Harris neck and neck, LGBTQ plus voter turnout could tip the scales. The National Center for Transgender Equality reports that voter participation is particularly robust among transgender individuals. Even in the historically low turnout 2014 midterm election, around half of transgender respondents had voted, compared to just 1/3 of the general population. By 2022, this figure had soared to nearly 75%. LGBTQ plus voters overwhelmingly lean Democratic, with nearly 60% identifying as Democrats in a Pew survey. This trend is even more pronounced among transgender voters, with 80% identifying as Democratic or leaning Democratic in a leading survey. Exit polls from the 2016 election indicated that almost 80% of LGBTQ plus voters backed Hillary Clinton, while only 14% supported Trump. Looking at the history and the data, the importance of queer voters cannot be understated in this year's election. With polling margins in key states hovering around 1% or even less, LGBTQ plus turnout could be the deciding factor. For instance, in Georgia, where there are over 400,000 queer adults, Biden won by just 11,779 votes in 2020. It would be safe to say that a slight increase in Democratic-leaning queer voters could secure victory for Harris. However, it's not all smooth sailing for the Democratic candidate. Current polling shows that many LGBTQ plus respondents remain undecided or are considering staying home, with about 20% uncertain about their vote, while less than 8% lean towards Trump. Disaffected queer Democrats could pose a challenge for Harris. Oh my God, so much to unpack there, I mean, in past election cycles, we have seen that only 26% of LGBTQ plus folks have gone out to vote. I hope And I pray that LGBTQ plus voters have educated themselves enough to know that their vote matters, that their vote is important, right? Here in Florida, I've heard that come out of friends' voices. My vote doesn't even matter here. It's a red state. Vote, it doesn't matter here in Florida. Well, how about let the votes speak? How about let the votes do the talking and you still go and vote, right? To you Republican gay people out there, stay home.
Right.
I ask you to stay home.
Right. And the margins matter. The margins do matter. I mean, the numbers matter.
Mm-hmm.
So every vote, when you harken back to a long, long time ago in Florida when Al Gore lost by 537 votes, every vote matters, except the ones that we want to stay home.
Yes. And transgender folks, you've got to get out and vote. This is affecting all of us. The fact that percentage has gone up makes me happy, okay? But also, sometimes the government doesn't make it easy for transgender folks to vote. They make it hard, when your ID needs to match and you have the right documentation, people have been turned away for less, for having signatures not match, etc. So, now more than ever, every single vote counts.
So get off scruff, go to the voting lines, because you meet the love of your life in that voting line and go vote.
Oh my God, but how cool is that to be on the line, right? Dale said that he waited like 30 minutes, 45 minutes to be on the line to vote while on Grindr, and you see that your next love of your life is voting in front of you, and he's wearing a Kamala shirt, so he's perfect for you.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever gets you motivated.
Whatever gets you motivated.
Whatever works.
Whatever works, baby. What's next, Dan?
Next is queer Florida and South Florida. Miami Book Fair 2024 is about diverse voices and stories of transformation. The Miami Book Fair is back in full swing for its 41st year, drawing readers and writers from all walks of life to downtown Miami for a week of discovery and connection. The event will run from November 17th to the 24th. This year's fair promises a global lineup featuring more than 500 authors who will share their stories and insights in English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole, making the celebration a true testament to Miami's diversity. Anchoring the fair are two powerful queer voices with unique stories that resonate deeply within the LGBTQ+ community. Miami's newly appointed Poet Laureate, Caridad Moro, a dedicated teacher and poet, will share her work and experiences, offering a local voice and a fresh perspective. Joining her is Isabel Camille, a Haitian-American mother and author, whose memoir, Soleil's Mom, A Transgender Journey of Love, Loss, and Letting Go, poignantly chronicles her journey from mourning the life she imagined for her child to embracing the child's true self. Camille's story dives into the struggles and victories that come with raising a transgender child, particularly within the Haitian American and Black communities, where cultural stigmas can weigh heavily on acceptance. The fair's heart, the street fair, takes place from November 22nd to the 24th. From literary fiction to memoirs and poetry, there's something for everyone in the community. Tickets are affordable with free admission for children under 12, $5 for teens and seniors, and $12 for adults. So whether you're a lifelong reader or a casual visitor, Miami Book Fair 2024 is calling you. For more details, follow at Miami Book Fair on social media and join the conversation with hashtag Miami Book Fair 2024.
Celebrate books and their writers and enjoy a vibrant weekend street fair for all ages at the Miami Book Fair, November 17th to 24th. Join authors for captivating readings, engaging panels, and autograph signings. Children's Alley brings beloved characters to life through mesmerizing storytelling sessions, hands-on activities, and more. Don't miss a special performance by the Rock Bottom Remainders at Off the Shelf. Ignite your passion for books in downtown Miami. Get your tickets now at miamibookfair.com.
Wow, 41 years is totally amazing. And I just love how it's grown and become such a signature event for Miami, I mean, internationally speaking. And that's wonderful because the more cultural events we have in Miami, the better.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many celebrities, not just authors and famous authors, New York Times bestsellers, but also unknown people that you would not necessarily hear about otherwise. I think it's fantastic.
I actually like the topic, the diverse voices and stories of transformation, because those are stories that I really want to hear, and especially now when books are such a sensitive subject in the schools, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, especially here in Florida.
And our voices are being silenced there. So, this is a great example of showcasing that.
Yeah, so I got to tell you that like a couple of years ago when I first heard about the Miami Book Fair, I was like, snoozer. I was like, wow, okay, like I'm the kind of girl that gets Audible and I get, the last book I read was the Britney Spears book, and it was in her own voice, right? You make it, that I'm not a big book reader, right? Then I went to one of these events, right? And like Dale said, like it's like the movers and the shakers and all of that. So this year I think they have Kenny G. I'm a big fan of Kenny G. They have Connie Chung. They have Maury Povich. Like they always have like these celebrities that you're like, oh, what have they been doing, right? Or like, oh, look at that big star coming to Miami for a book fair, right? And it's not just a book fair. It really is. Like you said, they bring people from all over the world. Caridad is incredible, I love Caridad Moro. She is just an incredible author. And like Tortillera is her book that I love. It's about lesbians. All of that. But I definitely, and it's affordable, $12. I mean, come on, it gets no better, Are you a reader, Will?
I am. Yep, I read between the lines. No.
I love to read people.
He likes to read people. The library's open.
But back to your point, just to really emphasize that, true, that all the book bans that are going on, especially in Florida, with the political scene, it's really a major thing, the book fair.
So we have to go out and support something like this. Looks like a fun cultural event.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting the partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here in Sunshine Cathedral. At the Happening Out television studios, we broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finished tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ Plus 1 Minute News. In LGBTQ Plus 1 Minute News, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Taste of the Island returns for 19th year on November 11th in Wilton Manors. Food lovers, mark your calendars. The 19th annual Taste of the Island is set to take over Richardson Historical Park and Nature Preserve in Wilton Manors on Monday, November 11th. Local elite establishments will showcase their best dishes, offering attendees a variety of flavors and beverage creations. In a treat for guests, live entertainment by the talented Synergy Twins will add a vibrant soundtrack to the night's festivities. VIP ticket holders can enjoy early entry to the event. 40 restaurants and beverage vendors are participating, and tickets are expected to sell out again this year. Don't let this pass you by. For more details and for tickets, visit tasteoftheisland.org. And so I'm going to be hosting for the third year, and I can't tell you how happy I am to be hosting. Every year, Taste of the Island is just so much fun. You get your little samples from each little table, and each one is more delicious than the last. They have cocktails, they have mocktails, they have stuff for your pets, okay? They have it all right there for Taste of the Island, and it's so much fun. The Synergy Twins always come down for it, and they're just two god-awful cuties that can play violins like nobody's business, boy. And just get involved, be part of the raffle. And, Greco Ford is always out there, and it's just always a lot of fun. November 11th, get your tickets for sure. Have you boys been?
I have not been.
Oh, I know you like to eat, so...
But I'm a vegan, so I always think about vegan options.
They always have vegan options. Yes, of course.
But I think I'm going to go this year. I'm planning to go this year.
I'm a bear. Of course I'm going to be there. There's food.
He's like, I'll be there when it opens.
I love that location, too. I love that location.
Right? And you're a foodie. What do you think?
Me? Am I a foodie?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I perked up when I heard the word sampling because, to be quite honest, I'm a sampler. You know, I don't really sit down and have like a full course meal, so I like to go around and sample different things. So I've never been, but I'm actually very intrigued. So I do want to walk around and, you know, get some samples and try some things out.
Yeah.
So definitely.
See you there.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Mariah Carey officially launches Christmas, going all Morticia Adams. With Halloween's ghostly echoes fading, Mariah Carey has officially ushered in the holiday season with her latest It's Time video. And it's got fans swooning. The holiday queen transformed social media with a bewitching Halloween to Christmas reel showing Carey as a stunning Morticia Adams, tangoing to a spooky remix of All I Want for Christmas Is You. With over 40 million views on Instagram and 15.4 million on TikTok in hours, the video morphs from a haunted house to a winter wonderland. For queer fans, it's a delightful reminder that when Mariah Carey says, "It's time," we know the season is going to officially be in full swing. It's so true. I absolutely love this time, you know, and I love the memes coming up to it. I don't know if you see in the Halloweens, with Jamie Lee Curtis, and you see her peeking out of the background, like she's ready to go. And it's like, yeah, I ate it all up. I love the whole Morticia Adams thing. Was fabulous.
She looked amazing. It's a great way to thaw her out for that song to come back to Christmas, you know?
She looked amazing, but Gomez.
Hi.
Right?
Ooh la la.
Right? Wasn't he cute?
French.
We were all like,
Yes.
who's that boy?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Oh my God. So I love this. I love when Mariah, you know, Mariah is the only one that could start singing Christmas music and we don't want to kill her November 1st, right? She's the only one that could get away with it. And it's like, we'll be sick of the song in a couple of weeks, but right now it's all Mariah. Give it to us. We want it. And Mariah's Morticia, like, really did it for me. Because Morticia Adams was like my first crush as a kid. I just remember my mom watching the Addams Family and then me going, who is that woman in that black dress? Like, I just wanted her to do stuff to me, and I wasn't exactly sure what those stuff was, but I knew I wanted her to do it. Yeah, so Mariah officially welcomes in the holiday season. What's next, William?
LGBT plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up politics. JD Vance says Trump will win the normal gay guy vote. Following Donald Trump's, JD Vance joined Joe Rogan's podcast, sparking controversy with his comment about winning the normal gay guy vote. In quotes, Vance suggested that the normal gay guy individuals are fed up with trans rights discussions, saying, quote unquote, they just want to be left the hell alone, unquote. Rogan agreed with Vance's sentiment. However, statistics speak differently. A September survey from the Human Rights Campaign shows that 74% of the queer voters lean towards Kamala Harris for the upcoming election, with just 7.5% supporting Trump and Vance. On the social media, many normal gay guys comments.
I think that, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if me and Trump won just the normal gay guy vote. Because, again, they just wanted to be left the hell alone, and now you have all this crazy stuff on top of it.
We're gay. Who wants to be normal? We want to be fabulous.
Right, right.
Well, I mean, not my normal gay boys. All my normal gay boys are like hell to the F to the no. I mean, and am I the only one really sick of Joe Rogan? Like, I really need for him to just go away. Like, I'm so sick of him. Like, what was that stupid show he used to do back in the day that I used to watch?
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Oh my God! It was when they ate bugs and shit like that.
Oh, you mean like Survivor kind of thing?
Oh, I don't know. He used to host this stupid show, and it was and whatever. Anyway,
he just stopped podcasting out of his basement.
and making millions out of it.
Isn't J.D. Vance gay? I mean, he just
But he's not a normal gay.
He's a closet case.
I'm confused by the normal gay.
Yeah,
the normal gay.
He's a normal gay.
I'm trying to think. What is that? And I don't quite.
Do you know the show? The show The Fantastics is with the longest running off-Broadway show.
Yes.
The Fantastics. And Louisa, the lead character, says, "Please God, please don't let me be normal."
Oh my God, that's it. And the Fantastics right now is going on at the Island City Stage.
Yes,
you can go get tickets now.
See? A plug.
You like that? You like how I squeezed that in?
Was good.
Thanks, Andy and Marty.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up drag culture. This Drag Race winner says she'd come back to the show if she competes for RuPaul's job. Beloved RuPaul's Drag Race alum Monet Exchange has declared that her only reason to return to Drag Race would be to replace RuPaul herself. Despite her incredible 3-time appearances, 2-time finals, and 1 crown, Monet told Pride that competing again isn't in the cards. Monet explained, quote, "The only way I'm going back on that stage is if I could compete to host the show. I'm not ever going back to Drag Race in any way, shape, or form unless it's in a judging or hosting capacity. Give me Drag Race Bosnia, I'm ready," end quote. She is currently focused on her new online celebrity chat show called Monet Talks. Right? Listen, it's grueling to be, or it seems grueling. Not that I would know from personal experience, all right? Because they're not accepting me for a RuPaul's Drag Race. But it seems like it's so grueling and it's so time consuming, and it completely halts your own life being
And
part of
emotionally
RuPaul's Drag
exhausting.
Race, and emotionally exhausting. So I can see why Monet is like, yeah, I'm good where I'm at right now. I've been there, done that. Appreciate the whole entire crew, but me, for myself, I probably wouldn't do it.
And she would make an amazing host. Oh my goodness! And at the very least, a judge. She'd be amazing on this. Such a talent, the voice, everything about her, the book, everything.
It's such a great platform, RuPaul's Drag Race, because it just brings out, if you want to perform in the drag world, then this is where you're at. But it leads to other things too. People having talk shows, people on Broadway. So you're getting to see the multifaceted, talents that these queens have, outside of Drag Race. So yeah, going back to it might seem, redundant to some of them, I would think.
God, how? But yeah. I get it. Dale, what's next, Bob?
LGBTQ plus woman in news. Let's queer up gay culture. Dictionary word of the year is Charli XCX, brat. Charli XCX's wildly popular album Brat isn't just topping charts, it's now a dictionary entry. Collins Dictionary has named brat as the official word of 2024. The LGBTQ allies' culture-defining record became a worldwide hit after its release in June. Its popularity coined the term brat summer. Collins defines brat as people with confident, independent, and hedonistic attitude. But Charli says the meaning is deeper. Brat is someone with, quote, a pack of cigs, a Bic lighter, and a strappy white top with no bra, end quote. Someone who has a breakdown, but kind of like party through it. Well, I kind of love her definition because it's just kind of not expected. And I love the whole brat thing. I thought that was super cool when they labeled Kamala as brat. I think it's super cool and cute.
Yeah, and what was it, William, that you had said, like someone who, we were talking before the show, it's like someone who disrupts things, right?
Yes.
And that's all of us, like, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, who doesn't want to have a brat summer, and hopefully we can have a brat 4 years coming.
Right.
Just saying. LGBTQ plus 1 minute news, let's queer up lesbian culture. Chappell Rowan debuts lesbian country anthem on SNL. November 2nd, Chappell Rowan blazed through Saturday Night Live with her new song, The Giver, an unapologetic lesbian country anthem that's already causing a stir. After Vice President Kamala Harris kicked off the episode, Rowan stole the show, singing about getting the job done and claiming a space for queer women in country music. During the performance, she said, quote, "Only a woman knows how to treat a woman right. She gets the job done," end quote. Do you notice my crazy eyes when I say that? Yes. With a wink to her queer audience. The Midwest Princess and 2024 Out 100 honoree also reprised her fan favorite Pink Pony Club. Chappell Rowan is an icon we'll never get tired of. I love her. I love her platform. I love that she is just like, hey, this is who I am, right? I don't know where the hell she came from, but I hope she stays. But I hope she stays as another lesbian. Keep doing it. And what is this all, like everybody trying to do country music right now? I love that.
Right. And
I love
and
that.
The Country Music Association is not going to accept them like they did, like they totally dissed Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's
But
great because
it's great.
She's breaking barriers too. You know, I mean, she represents the LGBTQ plus community. She wants to do different types of music, and apparently, from what my boyfriend has told me about her, because you know he's educating me on a lot of this. You know, she's been an artist that's been really honing her craft for the last few years, and she's been on the streets, and people have listened to her on the streets, and so now people are just getting to know who she is. But she's been an artist for many years. It's just now she's breaking into the mainstream. So good for her, and it's a good time for that to happen.
Yeah.
And she's having fun.
Yeah.
And she's making money in what she's doing. She loves.
I mean, it don't get no better than that.
Right.
And that's it for today's LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. If our community is important to you, share this news with your family and friends. Join the conversation on our favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, and we now have more than 10 million views on the only daily live queer news show in the world. We're proud that we have more than 1,000 new subscribers in October, and that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ plus brand in Florida. Over 500,000 of you have watched the show in the last 60 days. We say thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our community. I'm your anchor, FayWhat! And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Will Haas, Edward Otto Zielke, and Dale Stine. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. We remind you, the final day to vote is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day, okay? Stand up for equality, rights, and representation. If early voting is still available where you live, get your voting done now to avoid long lines. Let's make history. Let's vote for a better future together. Till next time, bye.
Bye.